You are on this video because you want to find a quick way to bring new cash into the business in the next 7 days. And I want to show you all the quick ways I found to be able to do that so you can bring it in. And you either want to do it because you've either had an unexpected big cash surge going out that you need to put back in. So whether it's debt, whether it's an unexpected account receivable, whether it's tax or something to the effect of that, that you need to be able to actually recuperate. That would be the first reason. Second is that you would ideally like to accelerate the speed at which you grow the company by bringing in more money quicker so you can spend more on ads or more on team to be able to give yourself the best opportunity scaling up in a way that you actually want to and not have to sit there growing slowly. Or the third one is maybe you just want to buy a fucking boat or buy a Porsche or go on a holiday and not use your existing cash flow to be able to do it. And you want to find a cash injection that will pay for those things so you can live the life that you want and not have to actually use your normal day-to-day cash flow for it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Morrison. I help founders, agency owners, consultants, service-based business owners who are done playing small, find a new way to get their edge back, generate as much cash as they humanly fucking can, build great teams, and be able to scale to whatever number their heart is set on. Usually 7 figures is where we try to take people to, and do it in a way where they are leveraged enough to have a team run the day-to-day for them so they can live the life they actually want. And today I'm going to show you how to build enough cash coming in to create that life you want with a few fast cash injection plays. Now, after having done this for years and years and years, I've worked with just shy of 750-ish marketing agencies or, high ticket consulting businesses over the past 6 years. And there's always something that comes up, right? Like either an unexpected massive bill, unexpected tax, or a growth rate that's going too slow for someone to be able to reinvest back into the company for advertising or for new team they want to hire to be able to move things faster. And everyone's sort of looking around, in many cases going, where the fuck do I get the money to be able to do that? Things are growing too slow, or I need cash coming in, or I even want to go on a holiday and I don't know where to get the money because I don't want to touch my current finances or current circumstance or whatever else that it is. And I, over the years, have picked up a few different fast cash plays to be able to help that aren't necessarily the normal things you would tend to look at. It's not like trying to make money from new leads. It's not necessarily trying to make money from new clients on call or new sales or anything like that. The areas that I typically tend to look are a little bit different, and not everyone seems to tend to look this way. And they are faster at getting cash in than trying to generate new leads from ads or whatever else that it is. So I want to show you what they are today. The 4 tactical plays I'm going to walk you through today are founder time reallocation, which is where you can make more money by focusing where your time is going and will actually help you the most and long term to be able to produce the most cash coming in every single week while not dropping any balls in delivery or any other part of the business. The second one is the accounts receivable play, which is pulling future cash you already expect to get coming forward to be able to use to invest back into the company or whatever you want to do with it. The third one is expanding existing relationships, so extension offers to create new cash from current or existing or past clients with really strong new updated offers that are essentially a no-brainer for them. And then the fourth one, which is recovering money that already exists in your existing database to be able to get people who are on the fence off the fence and into your bank account so you can help serve those people and use that money however you wish appropriate to do so. Again, the whole purpose of doing this is that when we're trying to find money or trying to grow the income very quickly, we do not want to be asking, how do I get more leads? We want to ask, where is the closest money and how do we collect it? And we're going to start with the founder time reallocation to be able to make sure that where you spend your time has the highest probability of being able to actually create cash instead of you being stuck in delivery or whatever bullshit experience you're currently experiencing that's preventing you from being able to collect the most cash humanly possible. So before I actually came into the online high ticket space, I actually sold a bunch of businesses. Like I used to be the middleman. So you would have a gym owner here, right? And then you would have someone who wanted to buy a gym over here, and I would be the middleman and I would do mergers and acquisitions for companies who wanted to expand their gym portfolio. And what I very, very, very quickly found out is that when you are trying to actually navigate a deal that has a sales cycle of something like what could be up to 12 months because of terrible fucking usage, you have 2 jobs. You have generate deals, and you have the jobs of seeing the deal the whole way through. So the delivery aspect of it, right? So the deal closing or going through. And if you spent all your time generating deals, you did a terrible job of actually making sure they go through. And if you did all your, or if you spent all your time only focusing on closing the deals, you never really actually got enough opportunities listed or opportunities coming through for you to be able to generate enough income and make enough money to be able to hit the income or revenue goals you actually wanted. So I had to learn very, 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 very quickly that if I did not actually make time for both generating new deals and then actually making sure that they actually went the whole way through, I'd be fucked. Because with generating deals, you need to essentially do outreach or connect with new gym owners or whatever else that it is to be able to get people to want to say yes, I will sell my business, or yes, I'm happy to do so. And you need to still negotiate with those people to get them to say yes, I'll do it, I'll sell this price, and get it on board, or whatever it is that you need them to be or do or say to agree to selling. And then you also need to go through the whole process of, once the deal has been listed, now you need to go out and sell it to potential buyers. And then you need to, once you have someone engaged, there is, going through the paperwork, there is due diligence, there is speaking to an uncle, a cat, an auntie, a dog, anyone who has an opinion on what should happen at the price of sale of this business. And if you got that part wrong, you were fucked, because the deal wouldn't go through and all your effort, energy, and time would have been spent for nothing, right? So I got really good at having to manage my time effectively. And what I did is I started separating the time that I would spend by day on, this would be new deal generation days, and this would be deal closing or delivery days, to be able to make sure that I could put all my energy, effort, and time on generating new deals and marketing, or all my energy, effort, and time on closing these deals, so that I don't get fucked. And what I used to do is I would start setting my week up like this, where it would be Monday, and Monday, I would start with generating new opportunity for myself. I would start filling my pipeline to be able to get new listings, to be able to, farm out to potential new buyers, or, remarket to them, or whatever else it is might be, what it is that it might be. But the idea was like, generate new opportunity to be able to make money, to be able to get a deal closed, meaning sold, business actually transacted to someone else. And I would start my week with that, so that I could very easily and very clearly know that my week was already set up to be able to have myself the highest probability of making new money coming in. And I would make sure that I started the week that way, so I don't end up in a position where I'm on the back foot trying to chase deals coming through toward the end of the week, or getting stuck in delivery and ruining my life. And I would start the week that way because it gave me the highest probability of success. Then I would make sure that I have multiple delivery days per week. So I've got Tuesday, which was a delivery day, which means that I would spend all day on making sure that my deals are going through, speaking to lawyers, speaking to accountants, speaking to, or like reviewing fucking profit and loss statements, or doing business valuations, or whatever else it is that it needs to be able to get a deal through. And then on Wednesday, sales. Thursday, sales. Friday, delivery again. And then Saturday was like your choice. And then Sunday was typically planning for like 90 minutes for me. But this was a good enough plan for a period of time, until I realized that there were still balls that were being dropped, right? And I realized that if I was on a sales day, I might have lost something that was really important on a Monday, that if it didn't get done, might make the deal fall over on a Tuesday. And if I didn't have that scheduled in on a Monday, I would end up losing that deal, and all the energy, effort, and time, even though I had this perfect fucking system set up, kind of fucked me, because I wasn't able to actually, reap the rewards of the effort put in prior, because of that deal falling through. And what I learned was, because I immediately went into the fear of like, oh fuck, if I am focused on sales and not delivery, then I'm in big trouble. And what if the deal falls through? Or what if my client's unhappy? Or whatever the bullshit story I was telling myself, without realizing that, oh, this is a time allocation problem. And I need to put in 1 hour of delivery time in on every sales day, so that if I have, a lawyer who needs something fucking urgently, or an accountant who is trying to get me to, give them something urgently as well, or they want to have a conversation with me, or a buyer needs to talk to me, or a current customer needs to speak to me who is trying to sell their business and it's urgent, I still have an hour per day scheduled in at the end or at least past the halfway mark of my day to be able to focus on the delivery aspect so that every single day, all cogs were still moving in sales and delivery. So new deals being generated and no balls were being dropped in delivery just by navigating my time effectively on every given day. So I would start with a primary focus for the day, and I would do that up until at least 2 to 3 p.m. And then afterwards, I was allowed or had the permission to get back into focusing on delivery to be able to make sure that no balls got dropped. What would usually end up happening is I'd typically wait until 3:30 or 4 p.m., then get into delivery and spend 3:30 to like maybe 5, focusing on whatever fire came up to make sure that deal would keep going through. And then the days after, so like a delivery day, I would make sure that I get up until 2 or 3 p.m., catching up on the delivery stuff and then getting into the sales stuff to be able to make sure that if I have deals that are pending, I can get the deal across the line or whatever I needed to do to be able to make sure that momentum was being upheld in all different areas without dropping the fucking balls. And when I came into this online high ticket service industry in 2000 and originally 2018, and then I came back in it again on 2020, I just never had a problem with generating money because I was able to follow the exact same process that I used to follow in my past experience being a mergers and acquisitions expert to be able to make sure that I could spend time selling, time delivering, protecting my focus, not waking up to fires, and never having something where a ball would get dropped, and not blaming it on the inability to be able to sell because I don't have time because I'm in delivery, and not blaming the inability to be able to give my clients a great experience because I'm always focused on sales and having clients churn because I was an idiot or could have been being an idiot and was only focused on sales, not having time allocated for delivery as well. The mistake that I see most people make is they will try to sell themselves on the fact that they can only do one. They don't realize that their stuck in delivery problem is usually a poor time allocation problem. And the ones who still stay stuck after realizing that are choosing to stay stuck in delivery like fucking idiots. Now, this is something that helped me get from uh, 0 to about 30 grand unbelievably quickly, purely because my time was completely allocated. Then from 30 to 100 grand, I did the same thing, but I just had team on board. I would still spend Monday on sales, but it was with the sales team. Still spend Tuesday on delivery, but it was with the delivery team. And I'll just make sure that my time is being allocated to helping the team members in those areas the most so I could, expand my performance in each of those areas through the power and leverage of other people's effort. Obviously, this is just step one of what I'm talking about, or cash area one. And if you want a deeper breakdown of all of that, this video here, the daily schedule and routine I use to build a multi-million-dollar business, is here on YouTube. There's an SOP and everything else associated to that for you to be able to copy immediately. Go and watch that if you want a deeper dive on that one in particular. Now, this may not have sounded like a fast cash collection process, but this gives you the highest probability of being able to put the hours needed to be able to generate that cash as fast as humanly possible. That if you don't have in place will actually decrease the probability of being able to actually sustainably long term create the highest amount of cash at any point in time, because you need to protect your revenue generating hours before your operational activities every single month, every single week, every single day. And you also need to be able to train your team to be able to do the same. What do you think I train my fucking team on? I train them on making sure that even my delivery team, who are meant to be focused on making sure the client gets results, that they're also focused on upgrades and retention and making new offers to people who are existing or past clients to be able to bring them back into the fold every single week. And if there isn't a structure for that and your team aren't all focused on the revenue generating activities instead of just the operational activities, then the probability of you making the most amount of cash is purely subject to the amount of focused and actual time allocated to that. And the amount of times I see people fuck up on this is absolutely crazy. Oh, and last part on this before I move on to the next one is that when I was between 0 to 30 grand, my only fucking goal was generate more cash. My whole goal was like, generate more cash to fill the bank account so I can very comfortably and confidently make bigger, more confident decisions so that I'm not in a position where I ever have to worry about getting a loan or doing anything that will put me in a position of debt So my whole week and whole day was focused around get as much cash as humanly possible, make sure the bank account is looking thick as fuck so that I can actually play bigger and play more aggressively so that I don't end up in a position where I ever have to go back and do something I don't want to do, like get a fucking job or have to get into debt to be able to continue the business or whatever else whatever other terrifying story or narrative you might be experiencing right now. I was so fundamentally fucking against having that experience. So my whole goal was like set my week up so I can generate the most cash humanly possible, and that's what I did. So the next ones I want to tell you about are the accounts receivable plays. And man, this originally to me felt like some boring accountant bullshit until I realized that it is one of the most high leverage fucking tools you can have to be able to track where your cash is going, how it's coming through, and how to actually be able to navigate getting your cash coming in faster. Um, the second I realized how exciting that was to me and actually managing the cash flow effectively because it would actually bring you cash in faster, it became really important to me. It was, I believe 2022 was in this business my first 100K month, and I haven't had a month under 100 grand since that fucking month. I believe it was September 2022. I remember specifically sitting there at like 84K, right? And I'm like, I am $16,000 away from hitting $100,000 per month right now, or $100,000 for this month. And I was like, where the fuck can I get money right now? There was all these options, right? It's like, I've got people who are currently on the calendar who I have calls with for tomorrow, and I could potentially try and bring those people forward to take a call with me today because it was the last day of the month as I'm going through this as well. There was people in my inbox who I could hit up and say, hey, I've got a special deal for you, things. And I know that I got from 84, I closed. You may have heard me talk about a client of mine, Savannah, in the past. She runs a marketing agency doing ads for outdoor living contractors. She ended up paying me 8K in full that day. So that got me to like 92 or something like that, which was great. Over the moon, was a fucking text sale. Didn't even have to hop on a call. It was awesome. That's the power of having great content. There's the pre-selling for you. But I was like, man, I'm still fucking 8 grand away from being able to make this happen. So I'm like, where else can I look to see where I can possibly get cash right now? Right? So I had to start thinking a little bit more creatively around different places to actually collect it. And the only other places I can think of were I have, X amount of clients on a monthly recurring contract right now. And I have X amount of clients who are currently clients and X amount of clients who are past clients, right? And it's like, these are 3 lists of people that I can probably hit up right now to try and find some cash. With the monthly recurring people, it was like, these people have, let's say 5 months left on their contract. If they are monthly recurring right now and it's, say, 2,500 per month, that means that these people have $12,500 left on their contract, right? And if I were to go to these people and say, hey, hypothetically, would you like to pay your 5 month contract out? And I will do you a deal and I will do it at $9,000. So you save yourself $3,500. And knowing that you have 5 months left, I'm actually going to give you 6 months as well. Would you be open to doing that? And you wouldn't do it with your whole client list, but maybe you have, say, 30 clients or, 10 clients or 15 clients or whatever else that it is. But let's say 2 of them say yes, then you have the ability to be able to collect 9 grand that day, not affect your monthly recurring too much, and be able to reinvest this money back into more ads or more, whatever the fuck it is. But in my scenario here, I wanted to just hit my 100 grand that month because I was like hunting. I was so committed to hitting that number. So the first place I looked was there and it's like, cool, I'm going to put an offer out to some of these people. And I sent a text out to every client that we had about that. And in my scenario, 2 people came back and said yes. So I ended up getting 9,000 times 2, I believe it was at that point in time. So that ended up being close to $108,000. And I believe 110K. We ended up collecting that month because of those 2 plays that I'd made. And that's when I was like, my eyes were fucking open. It was like, wow, this is amazing. And all I was doing was actually asking someone to pay the contract out earlier with an additional bonus that I could give them. And this was something that we have done many times since then to be able to see like what people have already started working with us that have paid us money that are on a contract that we could, if we want to get and want to produce cash fast, could I reach out to and say, hey, would you be open to paying out the rest of your contract for this month's time frame and then including a bonus? In this scenario, I used an extra month of some sort to be able to get a result in that way. So the formula for this is like how much longer is in the contract, offer a discount, offer a bonus, and then collect the money today to be able to use that and reinvest that, hit your goal, buy a Porsche, whatever fuck you want, if that makes sense. So that was like play one. Play two was like, I'll get into that one in a second. So you've got the expansion offers, which I'll get into, and then the past clients expansion offers too. There were three areas I could look through to actually collect some money today, if that makes sense, right? So the places that I routinely look for to do this now is when I'm thinking about new clients signing up. Let's say we sign up 10 clients a month, or 8 clients a month. I'm looking to have 20% of those clients up front pay in full. That is my goal. Now, there are two ways you can do this. You can actually have two people pay in full on the call, or you can give people, every single person who signs up out of these 10 or 8, if they don't choose to do that right there and then, you can say, hey, within 30 days, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to be able to get that 20% discount again up until the 30-day period. And then you offer that same discount to every single person that signs up within that 30-day period. So when you sell them, you say, in 30 days time, I'm going to ask, supposing they didn't, take you up on the paid in full, you say, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to be able to still pay these in full in the next 30 days. And a percentage of people are going to do it on the call, and a percentage of people are going to do it at the 30-day mark as a routine, predictable way for you to be able to actually collect that from those people in that period of time, to be able to put at least 20% of your clients immediately reinvested back into more ads or more team or something that grows the company really fast, but also helps you hit your cash collection goals or your return on advertising spend goals or your reinvestment goals way faster, because you have a predictable or like routine percentage of which you want to actually be paid in full versus monthly recurring. And the beautiful part about this is it does not fuck with your existing monthly recurring, because let's say again you sign up 10 clients per month, you're still getting another 8 on monthly recurring every single month. So getting those paid in fulls doesn't fuck up your future. It just brings cash forward faster for you to be able to reinvest and not fuck up your future by not having the ability to reinvest, is the way I see it. So that's how you do it with new cash coming in, like new clients, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the existing plays are, like I said here, for clients who are, 4 months into their 10 or 12-month contract and you want to ask them to pay out then, you do it with a new bonus, or you do it with a, hey, I always use honesty. I usually say like, hey, I'm looking to actually generate some cash, looking to reinvest back in the business. I want to offer you an opportunity. Would you be interested in taking me up on this? And the lesson here is like, future revenue can sometimes become present revenue if you play the game properly. And the double lesson is that the boring accounting lessons that you may have learned wherever the fuck you were, or if you haven't learned them just yet, are actually usually really exciting once you realize you can reinvest that cash back into whatever the fuck you want. So I would go and check to see which clients you currently have that you could ask who are within a 30-day window if they would like to pay the rest of their contract out in full to be able to get a 20% discount, if that's the deal you want to do. Or go and check your existing client list to see which of your clients could you go and ask to do that with right now to be able to capitalize on that and reinvest it back into growth as well. Next one is extension offers. It was a couple of days before Christmas and Boxing Day in 2023, I believe. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, Jimmy Pomponio, at his house, and he runs a consulting company for fitness businesses. And he was essentially walking me through a play that they were about to make that routinely makes them over 6 figures in a day on a Boxing Day sale that they typically run to their existing clients and customer list. And what they do is they essentially package up an offer to get people to re-sign for another 12 months on a Boxing Day, which means that it takes them through from, the 26th of December all the way through to the 26th of December the next year. And they had two payment options for that, right? One was a paid in full, which gave them a obviously nice little fucking discount and then whatever other bonuses that they gave, or just a contract extension to that timeline. And I sat there and said, that's cool. And sure, I'm sure it'll go great. Then 2 days later, he sent me a screenshot of having sold $126,000 cash collected that day, purely from hitting up his existing customers. And I started listening a little bit more intently once I realized I needed to fucking do the same. The formula for doing this was so unbelievably simple as well. It was just like, review the current results of your client list, find the next bottleneck, and then offer a solution to that for them, right? And the idea is that you don't necessarily just have to wait for a specific time of year to be able to do this, although doing it on a Boxing Day or on a Christmas or something to the effect of it is always relatively smart to do. But you should have multiple checkpoints within your existing service to be able to naturally resell people into it. So if you normally only have people stay 90 days and they don't stay there after that, a lot of the time the reason is we didn't actually pre-sell an extension offer to these people for 12 months after that as well. So one thing you want to do is make sure you have a plan to do that with your existing customers as a natural and normal routine, so that once they get to the end or the end of their existing contract, that you review where they're currently at, you review their current bottlenecks and resell them into the next stage or on an extension of where you want to go with them. So it does not necessarily have to be a holiday for that to happen. You can have your normal extension, which is usually done via a upgrade call, or you can choose to create new cash by looking at your existing list and looking at the clients that are currently there and thinking, what could, if we wanted to, what could we sell to someone to upgrade them from their current package to the next package? Or what could we offer these people to ask them to pay out the rest of their year or extend for another year and ask them to pay in full as a consequence of wanting to work with us by reviewing where they're at, reviewing their current bottleneck, and reselling on the next stage of business? And how quickly can we get these people on a call to make that offer to them? Now, it's not always going to work out. Not everyone's going to say yes. But if you have a process and a routine in place routinely and predictably enough where you practice the skill of being able to make offers like that, the probability of you being able to find 1 or 2 people per month who will happily say yes to doing that with you is way fucking higher than if you're not having any effort, energy, or time put into that at all. And of course, I would also run that with your past client list to be able to see where people are at, what they're doing right now, and if you can possibly throw an offer their way to be able to do this. Now, a story about this as of recent was I was sitting there like, I want to see where we can generate some cash from. Not any other reason than I just wanted to like play around with new offers and everything else too. And I offered 3 people, and I really did mean it for three people who were past clients of ours the rest of the year, and it was last April that we did this in. So it would have been April through to December, and it was 12 grand for the whole rest of the year at our highest level of working with us, which was a crazy fucking deal, mind you, but it was to people who I'd selected who had already paid us over $70,000, which means that the LTV with this person was already high as is, and I wasn't necessarily getting a discount on anything. It was only something I was willing to give to people who were already high paying customers of mine, and I was only willing to give it to people, a certain amount of people, but it helped us collect an extra 36 grand within a couple of days, which is fucking awesome as well. So if you aren't currently using the extension offers and you want to do that, you can use it to your existing or past clients as early as this week to be able to get some extra cash in the door to reinvest or do whatever the fuck you want with it. Now, the last one here is the pipeline offers. Now, for those of you who don't know what I did prior to this, and even prior to the mergers and acquisitions, I used to work for 3 different supplement distribution companies. One was Muscle Tech, one was C4, and another one was just a local distribution company that actually distributed both of those companies as well. And my job was to bring new accounts on who would distribute our products for us internationally. I looked after Australia, I looked after New Zealand, and I looked after a little bit of Europe as well. And my average order value per customer per month was around 150K. But some of the actual clients that we work with were typically worth 20 or 30 million per year or per life cycle to me. And I needed to be able to influence people to buy this much product every single month or this much product, every single year as a consequence of my work with them. And what's interesting is that you don't get this done quickly, and you don't typically get those accounts brought on fast. What usually happens in that is the sales cycle to bring someone on is usually about 6 months to even get them on as a client. But it's usually 12 to 18 months until they start getting their spend up to the 150 grand a month or whatever the fuck it is. And as a consequence of that, I would have to have a really long relationship with this person just to get them to become a customer, and a really long relationship with them to be able to make sure that I get their spend up to a point where it was actually worth it for my energy, effort, and time with the company. So my natural inclination every time I got a lead in is that I'm going to spend more time trying to get money out of this person or more time trying to help this person because my whole sales cycle relationship is based off that. And then I came into the online high ticket service industry and realized that everyone has this buy or die mentality where it's like either they buy today or they fucking die and they get completely forgotten about. And I sat there thinking, like, that is stupid. Why the fuck are you doing that? Everyone out here is like, they could be 4 or 5 months away from giving you 10 to 100 grand. Why the fuck are you burning all these leads? And everyone sort of looked at me funny, and I was like, you're all fucking idiots. So I started doing what I knew was right against all the information that most of the mentors that I was working with were, giving me. And it was like, I'm just going to make more offers to these people long term. I'm going to keep in contact with that lead long term. I'm going to keep distributing information to this person. I'm going to keep giving this person new content, new reasons to want to engage with me, and new reasons to reach back out to me, and new offers to want to potentially say yes to. So I have the probability of an opportunity to be able to sell this person again, instead of me losing the fucking money I'd spent on ads. So I started distributing or segmenting the leads that I'd most recently got into two different categories. There was taken, so like people I'd taken a sales call with, and people who I'd not yet taken a sales call with were not taken, right? And I would start coming up with new ideas for each different person. In the days when I first started doing this, there wasn't any cool AI tools. So I would go and review the sales call myself and come up with a description of what I believed had prevented the deal from going through. So like maybe it was a payment plan issue, or maybe they had an objection they couldn't overcome, or maybe there was a reason they couldn't purchase right now. And I would come up with a list of reasons why that person didn't buy, and I would come up with an offer that would overcome all those objections, and I would re-offer a new opportunity to them maybe 7 days later by asking them, hey, you know how these were stopping you from being able to get started before? I came up with these solutions to that. If you knew they would work, would you be open to having a conversation with me about getting started? And more often than not, people would at least have a conversation with me, and I've gone from a no to a okay, let's have a conversation again. And I typically had a 30% close rate on re-offers, which increased my normal close rate of like 40% to like 55% as a consequence of making another offer to the same person. The cool thing is, in this day and age, you can just take a sales call transcript and put it into any of your favorite LLMs and ask it what re-offer you can make to them to be able to get back out there and make that offer to them. And then for the people who had not yet taken a call, I had two strategies that I would use. The first one is a video like this that you're watching right now. I would send them new content that was relevant to what problem they said they had that they originally came into my world for. And I would just keep feeding them new content. Kind of like the way I used to describe it is like, when you are chatting with a friend, or you have a text chain going with a friend, and you send them new songs, or you send them, reels or memes in the fucking DM, and like stuff that that you actually know that they'll like, your degenerate shit, your racist jokes, or whatever the fuck you send them. And I would start sending stuff to my prospects, who were the hot list of prospects that I'd had, that would actually help them unlock the solution to the problem they were experiencing, whether they work with me or not, with the intent of having a new conversation with those people. And I called it a new reason to reach out. And it gave me the opportunity to potentially start a new conversation with that person. In the worst case scenario, it at least left a positive thought in their mind that I was someone that would be able to provide value to them, whether it was right now or not. But more often than not, it actually got me more conversations. And it ended up being that over 40% of my sales every single month would come from these people, because I had that long-term mindset about this. And sometimes this sale would come through 6 months later. The longest it's been so far has been 5 years for someone to become a customer. Wild, but the system works. But if you don't have a routine in place for that, it's not going to work for you. And then there is the alternative one, which is a new offer every single month. So it's like coming up with an alternatively new way to be able to pitch the solution that you currently have, or the service that you currently have, without changing the product itself, and remarketing that to your whole hot list pipeline every single month, and getting them to say, I'd be interested or not interested in doing that specific thing, has been a massive game changer for us. So I think the one that we currently have this month is about our handled systems that or the product that we have handled inside our suite of products. We're going to be doing installations of the solution to that for people in the month of July. So we're currently remarketing that right now. And if you head to my email sequences right now, you'll probably be able to see some of the actual campaigns for that right now. And very openly, that's to be able to get you who are on my email list or in my pipeline to be able to have another opportunity to be able to want to purchase from me, because maybe you just didn't think it was the right time, or you didn't see the right angle, or whatever the fuck it was you needed to see to buy when you originally saw me the first time. And now, maybe now is the perfect fucking time, and that offer might be the perfect fucking offer for you, right? Because the other part of this is, like, sometimes you might have 9 things you actually do for customers inside your delivery, and the first 3 sound terrible to them, but the second 3 that they've never even heard of before sound amazing. So every new offer I put out has a new angle associated to a new part of the thing that we do, so that there's always something fresh going on, and they see it from a different lens, and maybe that lens is the one that makes them go, oh, I should probably fucking work with this guy. But the lesson here for you guys is that most of your deals, or most of my deals over the years, have actually come from my pipeline. Whether it's hitting up people who are taken with a reoffer, or hitting people up who are not taken consistently, just like I did when I was in the supplement world, for long-term follow-up, and then creating new offers every single month to remarket to that pipeline. I believe that the spots that we allocated for the handled, I believe it was 6 because of doing a proper installation. I believe 4 already taken, and I launched it yesterday, right? So it's an awesome way to be able to get new people buying really quickly by putting a new thing in front of them and keeping in contact in that way. And it's probably been the largest revenue generating process we have in the business, because it increases the return on advertising spend, increases dollar collected per lead, increases the probability of being able to make sure you can get a higher close rate, spend more money on everything, and you can make money come in really fucking fast if you go and see the calls you've already taken that didn't close, and you get back to them and say, hey, would this get the deal closed? More often than not, they'll at least chat with you about it and find a way to do it with you as well. So if you need to get cash in fast, make sure that your time is being allocated correctly. Make sure you're looking at all the places in your existing accounts that you can actually collect cash as quick as humanly possible. Make sure you're looking at all your existing and past clients to be able to get some extension offers out there, and make sure that you are navigating your pipeline in the best way humanly possible. And I have a gift for you for that last one, and I'll grab it so you can see it and look through it as well. Below here, there will be a link to this pipeline playbook. It is the exact 12 offers that we use every single month. It has the scripts, it has the LLM breakdowns of what you can chuck into GPT to be able to get it to spit out the re-offers and everything else associated to that. It shows you exactly what lists to hit and how to actually get them to be able to hop back on and be interested in talking to you again. It gives you examples as to what to look through when it comes to new things to start sending back across to people who are in your existing pipeline didn't close yet, that you need to keep up with long term, and what offers to send across to people word for word that you can copy paste to get them back onto a call as well. So if you want a copy of that, just click the link below and I'll send that right across. Other than that, these are the 4. Go and use them, reinvest them back into ads and into generating better opportunity with team. And when you're ready, come fucking work with me to help you get to 7 figures or more.